Don't worry, guys. Quieter times, they will eventually come.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea news. Wow, lots happening. We've had confirmation from Romano that Lavia has completed his Chelsea medical and signed as a Chelsea player. Wow, entire new midfield rebuild. We will reflect on that. Ziyech failed his ruddy medical. And the controversial subject of Lewis Hall to Newcastle United. Gaining legs, what's happening there? We'll discuss it all. Thank you for joining me. Do consider joining the fun here on Football Therapy, road to 200,000 subscribers. You can be a part of that lovely, heartwarming, fun journey with the wonderful community that is the Football Therapy viewers. So consider subscribing, and I thank you for liking the video. Click of a finger, click of a button. By the finger. Enough about fingering, guys. Let's get into the video. Before we talk about Lavia and essentially the whole revamp of the midfield, let's talk about Ziyech and Lewis Hall, big blockbuster stories that are dominating the Chelsea-related headlines of late. The Express writes about Hakim Ziyech. He's failed his medical, his second medical in a matter of weeks. Brother is failing medicals all over the gaff. Hakim Ziyech looks destined to stay. He looks destined to stay at Chelsea this summer after failing his second medical in a matter of weeks. Wah, wah, wah. According to reports, Ziyech is one of the handful of players is surplus to requirement at Chelsea under Mauricio Pochettino. He's a high-profile player. He is also on high wages. He is not part of the plans. He would be a bad thing to be hanging around. Make no bones about it. I like Ziyech, by the way. I like him. I think he's a talented player. I've got nothing against the guy. When his January loan to PSG fell through, which, by the way, is our fault, and by the way, looks like a bigger blunder more and more and more as time goes on, because they were happy to just take him. It was us who screwed that up, because we were fannying around sorting out Enzo, but you know, important. The Morocco international originally looked set to join Saudi Arabia, of course, this summer. The Al Nassr side, £17 million deal fell free. Ziyech reportedly failed his medical, with Al Nassr modifying their offer on vastly reduced wages. So it's probably him not wanting to go because they think, you're injured, mate. I don't think he's injured. I think he's got like a dodgy knee or hamstring or something. So Ziyech was unable to put the disappointment of his failed Saudi move behind him shortly as Turkish side Galatasaray reached an agreement with Chelsea. However, that move has also fallen through, with Dutch media reporting that Ziyech has once again failed his medical. It's yet another transfer setback for Ziyech, which has been a frustrating few months for the attacker since the World Cup. Ziyech was a huge part of Morocco's success in Qatar, but helping his nation reach the semi-finals. Due to his impressive displays, Ziyech was not deemed, despite his impressive displays, he was not deemed a part of Potter's project. Look, we all know what happened from there. We don't need to read anymore. You can check out the articles for yourself regarding Ziyech. Yeah, this is pretty bad, man, because he's going to be, really the top two of the bomb squad, as the Athletic call it. And I suppose Hudson-Odoi is in there despite being a youngster, and it feels like the bomb squad's usually old players you don't want anymore. But yeah, Lukaku's of course top of the tree. He's head of the gang. But Ziyech is very much his deputy, and for either of them to be hanging around, it's going to be really, really bad. Obviously less bad for Ziyech because he hasn't gone on strike. He hasn't done any public interviews slagging us off. He's recently played for Chelsea, so there is a bunch of that, theoretically he could play. He could be like a bench player, come off the bench and try and whip in some balls when we've got, Nico and others on. What do you do, man? Do you reintegrate Ziyech? I guess you have to. You can't really have him playing with the kids. He's on too high wages to not utilize, and he's not I don't think he's a bad egg, a bad guy. I don't think he's causing problems. So it's really, really tough. Let me know what you think about the Ziyech situation down below. Of course, we've got excellent news of Lavia signing and the midfield being rebuilt. We're going to reflect on that holistically in just a moment. But David Ornstein of The Athletic writes about Lewis Hall. Newcastle want to sign him. Newcastle United are working on a deal to sign left-back Lewis Hall from Chelsea. He's not a left-back. He's a ruddy midfielder who's been farmed out at left-back. Maybe now he's left back. I don't know. Eddie Howe's side have seen a number of approaches for the 18-year-old rebuffed this summer, but Chelsea securing him to a new long-term contract. So we signed on a 6-year deal, so assets secured. Safe. But how do we feel about this? Newcastle's interest has remained as they have since made another offer. Chelsea initially preferred Hall joining Crystal Palace on loan. Yes, understandably, because Crystal Palace on loan develops in, you know, we've got a relationship with Palace. They are not a direct rival for the top echelons of the Premier League like Newcastle United, so you can understand that. But the England Youth International is favouring a permanent exit. So why'd you sign a new long-term deal? I guess financial security. So he wants to go, man. The opportunity to play regular football under Howe and for a team that will compete in the Champions League are thought to be key factors. Yeah, I think I said it in yesterday's video. Champions League and Eddie Howe is an alluring prospect. He's come on leaps and bounds as a manager. And this is a big salient point here. Hall also grew up a Newcastle fan. Dun, dun, dun. Don't think you get me. If you're not from Newcastle, I don't know where he's from. Is he from? I have literally no idea where he's from. He might be from Newcastle. I was going to say, because if you're 18 or younger, to be a Newcastle fan at the moment, you have to be from Newcastle. Or maybe not because they're becoming sexy again, but I suppose because it has to be your parents. You know, when I was a kid, Chelsea weren't very good. I suppose that when I was a young kid, they sort of started getting good again in the 90s. But my dad was a Chelsea fan. So key factors: Champions League and Eddie Howe. You know, another element of Chelsea's existing depth in his position. Because if we are going to just talk about him being a left back, I mean, whatever. Ben Chilwell is backed up by... Okay, so, David Ornstein, you're talking about Ben Chilwell as being backed up by, says Mark Cucurella rightly, but then Ian Maatsen. You're willing to talk about a midfielder being a left back out of his position, but you're not willing to do the same with Ian Maatsen, who's only been playing in the front four, and he's a left back. So it's kind of like you pick and choose where and when you want these players to be. But whatever, I don't know why I'm criticising him for that. It just winds me up. Okay, Chelsea are seeking a fee in the region of £35 million for their academy graduate to leave. If the deal is done, it would also include a meaningful sell-on clause to Chelsea. So let's talk about this firstly. £35 million pure profit on the books is a massive juice. We've spoken about it. We've heard Simon Johnson and Liam Twomey of The Athletic explain it. When you sign a player for, say, $100 million over 5 years, it's a 5-year deal. It's amortized $20 million a year, and that's how much you have to pay on the books. When you sell an academy product, it's pure profit. So it's not $20 million over a year period for a £100 million player. It's £35 million in the bank immediately. No other questions asked. That's just what happens to the accounts. And for an 18-year-old, Chelsea will be like, thank you very much. But the truth is, he's mustard, mate. We got to talk about that. He's really good. He's really frigging good. I know I sound like a broken record when I speak about this, all right? But we played Man City. He played out of position as a left back, but apparently now he's a left back, even though he's trained his whole life as a midfielder. And he was our best player against the eventual treble winners, Man City, twice, I believe. He's so freaking good. Now, are you saying to me, Yannick, should he start over Ben Chilwell? I'm going to say, heck no, brother or sister, whoever you are, or they, them, however you identify. I mean, no. I saw some people speculating that he's our best left back. I simply don't agree. Ben Chilwell has got the elite athleticism. He's got that leadership we need down that left flank that we can't sacrifice our vice captain in a time lacking of leaders for an 18-year-old, really quiet, passive, but very sweet kid. That's not the way to go. Yes, he's got immaculate delivery. Yes, he's an incredible dribbler. But Ben Chilwell is like an amazing defender. He's probably a better defender than Hall, as is in occupying those defensive left back. But that's come with experience. Again, he's 18. And Ben Chilwell is like a de facto striker as well. And that's how we play, with Ben Chilwell as the furthest man forward. That's how Pochettino plays. So that's probably why Hall is being considered for sale here. It's tough, though. It's really tough. Look, I put it out to you guys. Many of you will be like, just don't sell him, keep him around. He's on a 6-year deal. Lock him down. Say, look, kid. Look, kid. No, don't do that. That's the wrong approach. Say, like, hey, man, maybe all these approaches aren't correct. But basically, say, look, you're on a 6-year deal. We want to keep you around for a little bit to see if we can, make you happy. We're going to use you off the bench. We're going to play in, cups, and if you train well, you'll get to play, dude. You simply will. Whether it's in midfield, left back, or maybe even that sort of like left wing in the 4-2-3-1 that Ian Maatsen has done. Why the bloody heck not, eh? Why not? Let me know what you think of Lewis Hall to Newcastle. If they offer £35 million for an 18-year-old who's not in our starting 11, do you take him? Considering we've just outlaid a biblical amount of money and we're going to need to get some juice in. Think about it, percolate on it, and then type about it. That's what I request. So, Lavia has passed his medical test, and he's signed his deal. It's not been announced, but Fabrizio Romano said it, and I believe him, so you should too, right? Look, like many transfers in this world, I have gone with the flow. I've absorbed the vibes, the aura of pre-season, and indeed an impressive opening day against Liverpool, where we probably edged it slightly. I heard the Liverpool correspondent of The Athletic say that, and they're meant to be measured and neutral, and as well as covering the team Liverpool meticulously. So when I heard him say that, I was like, yeah, we were better. So the vibes are good. The vibes are good. And when things are going well, you generally accept their decisions around you. Like, at first I was like, Moises Caicedo for anything over 70 million, go away, you silly sods. But now I'm like, hot dog, I'm happy we signed him, and just forget about the money. Apparently it's all fine, financial fair play, so let's get on with it. Hooray! I'm delighted with Enzo Fernandez. I was when we signed him, and that's just looking like every day, just an incredible acquisition long-term for us. But Romeo Lavia, Simon Johnson on the Athletic podcast feed was explaining how, look, Chelsea have lost Jorginho, Kovacic and Kante. Chelsea have brought in Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez and Romeo Lavia. All right. Okay. Good. Now, I look at the scouting report of Romeo Lavia and think, this isn't particularly exciting. But he's 19 years old, and the sample size he's got playing at the highest level in the Premier League is an impressive one, and people are really into it. So yeah, I guess it's just like nearly 60 million quid. Do you know what I mean? I've just been talking about Lewis Hall, who's an amazing player who I've seen play amazing football in the Prem, who we're going to sell for 35 million. With the English tax on top, and then, I don't know. But the point being, if Chelsea's designs long-term think Romeo Lavia is the one, then I'm on board. I am here for it, and I can jump on board. So, cool. But the question is, does he play? The big question has been, are we going to play a 4-3-3? And does it make sense to try and play a 4-3-3, so a midfield three of Moises Caicedo flanked by both Enzo and Lavia? Or, because Nkunku's out, do we play a 4-3-3? But then again, I was just thinking, can you play Enzo in the number 10? I mean, if you said to him, hi Enzo, would you like to play in the number 10? He'd probably go, yeah, right? But the thing is, Pochettino's number 10 is so second strikery that it's not Enzo Fernandez, isn't it? Considering Enzo Fernandez has been playing like for Argentina and like a lone pivot, to move so many like sort of flanks forwards. Flanks? Rank? I don't know what word I'm thinking of here. Like, number 6, number 8, Number 10, like to move all those numbers forward, it seems like too much. Number 8 is the sweet spot for him, I believe, in either a double pivot like we want to do, or maybe a 4-3-3. So, like I said, flanking Caicedo with Romeo Lavia. So the 4-2-3-1, number 10's 2 second striker. Like I said, you know, Dele Alli, second striker, Christopher Nkunku, second striker. That's kind of like the vibes. But maybe we go for it and just try Enzo out there and he gets back into lots of defensive work. But I don't think he can play make as well. I don't know if he's, because he doesn't, you know, he scores the odd goal, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. I just feel like it's wasting him slightly. I feel like he's such an amazing number 8, like playmaking number 8. No, it would be silly to do that. So maybe we do play this 4-3-3 with Moises Caicedo and Lavia. And I mean, Lavia signing for Chelsea for a lot of money on a long-term deal. And he's sort of, he was happy to go to, you know, unlike Caicedo, who says, I only want Chelsea. For a time, Lavia wanted to go to Liverpool. He was sold on the project. Of course, they were making multiple bids for him. But then he didn't want to be second choice. But he didn't want to sit on the bench, or I don't know. But like, or maybe he wouldn't sit on the bench because, you know, Fabinho and Henderson's gone. You'd be playing for Liverpool, but are you coming to sit on the bench for Chelsea? Surely not. Like, surely he doesn't want to do that. So what does that mean? He's the starter. So we have a midfield three of Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo. I don't know. I wanted to put it out to you guys. Especially because Nkunku's injured. Maybe we alter the formation. I don't know. Playing this 4-2-3-1 all preseason, I'd be very, very surprised if we do that. But there's a chance we could do that. So I wanted to ask you guys and see what you think. I look forward to reading the comments on this one. Thank you for joining me. Of course, uploads every day on this channel. Road to 200,000. Please do consider joining the fun. And thank you for liking the video. If you want to get more intimate content with me, follow me on social media at Football Yannick. All right. Peace.